Okay guys, for this week's episode of Chef Kingston, we're going to be making one of my personal favorites. It's one of my own recipes. This is called tomato flounder cruda, and it's really simple, it's really light. I'm going to be serving it over a shaved fennel salad. Never cooked with fennel before, so I'm going to be interested to see how that goes, but I typically use anisette in the recipe, so this will be kind of the licorice component, kind of that anisey flavor that'll complement the fish and the cruda that I'm going to make with it, the tomato cruda. So first thing we're going to do is I've got a nice container here of some of those heirloom cherry tomatoes, the Constellation style. You can use any kind that you have, any kind that's fresh or on hand. And I'm just going to give these a rough chop, because what this essentially is it's kind of a Mediterranean salsa on the bed of a 9x13 pan. I'm going to put some flounder fillets over it. You could use any kind of whitefish, tilapia, catfish, snapper. I'm going to lay that over the top, drizzle it with olive oil and a splash of white wine, and then that's going in the oven at 425 for about 15-20 minutes. The tomatoes are going to get kind of blistered, and then the fish is going to cook through nicely. And then I serve that typically over couscous. Today I'm actually going to do it a little lighter, and I'm serving over a fennel salad. So let's go ahead and get started on these tomatoes. And like I said, I'm just going to give these a rough chop, so I'm just going to go probably down the center. I'm not going to quarter these or anything. Even the big ones, that's fine. Okay, so we got a nice medley of tomatoes in there. Now I'm going to take the zest of 1 lemon. This is zester. If you don't have a zester, one of the things that actually will work is if you take a vegetable peel and just very thinly peel a lemon, and then you can kind of dice it up with your knife. It's not the truest substitute for this, but if you don't want to go out and get one of these, I kind of understand, because I mean, besides zesting things, I guess it grates cheese really well. They're not expensive. You can get these kind of anywhere. I got this at good old Walmart. And when you zest something, you don't actually want to zest it all the way down to like the meat, especially with lemons. When you start to see that like pure white, you can kind of see there, that's the pith, and that's a little bit more bitter. You want just the yellow part, because that's where all those lovely essential oils are. That's where you get the real taste of lemon. So we got that. I'm going to take half of this. I'm also going to add some juice to this. Actually, you know what? No. We've got the lemon zest in there. Let's do garnishes with this lemon slice here. So put those off to the side for now. Next thing I want to add, I got 2 cloves of garlic here. I'm going to give these a rough chop, or rough mince, and then we're going to kind of do, if you've never seen it before, it's the salt technique, where you use salt to actually kind of help macerate this into a paste. So now, let's add the salt and kind of smash that down a little bit. And you want to be generous with your salt. There's no other salt that I'm going to be adding to this, so this is fine. But this is where you take the side of your knife and you really want to scrape it in there. Just get it down to a nice paste. I'll take that, add that to this mix. We're going to give this a nice little toss here in a second. So, okay, next thing we're going to add some chiffonaded basil. I love chiffonading things. I like saying the word, but it's also just a cool technique. And it's kind of fun because it makes you feel fancy. It's one of those classical techniques that, especially for fresh herbs like basil, it's really great to know how to do this, because otherwise you're going to bruise your herbs. Which in this respect, since we're cooking it, isn't a huge ordeal. But if you're going to use this fresh, you don't want bruised basil out there. It's just not pretty. We'll save a little bit of this. We can always add some to the salad as well. So you have a stack of basil leaves. Make a little basil cigar, little basil blunt. And take your knife, and this is kind of the fun. This is that rocking motion. You get these nice ribbons. And you see how I've got my fingers tucked in there? That's how you prevent yourself from chopping off a fingertip. And you can always come across just to break those ribbons up. Now you're left with nice little basil strings. Okay. So I'm going to hit this. It's already got salt in there from the garlic. I hit it with a little crushed or cracked black pepper. And I'm going to hit it with some crushed red. Just a little bit. Let's actually trade places here because this is a really pretty dish, I think. We'll give this a light little stir. And actually, before I forget, we're going to go ahead and add in just any kind of white wine. Just add a little splash of it in here. It helps kind of provide some steaming liquid. And not that the tomatoes aren't going to bring enough water on their own, but it gives a nice flavor, I think. So now just kind of toss everything together. Like I said before, I'm going to be using Flounder. And this is just frozen flounder fillets. Typically Orca Bay is what I buy. They come vacuum sealed, which I always think is really nice because it's already portioned out. So I've thawed these out just under cold tap water. So I'm just going to lay these in here. Get about 4 fillets. I'm going to lay them across lengthwise. Okay. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to take these lemon slices I had over here chopped up. I'm going to put a little lemon ring on each of these. Okay, then I'm going to take some olive oil. I'm just going to drizzle it over the top of the fish. You don't have to saturate it. It's got enough liquid in there. This is just to give it a little fat, a little of that Mediterranean flavor. So give it a little shimmy, a little shake. And that's it. That goes in the oven. We got this preheated. It's 425. This will take about 20 minutes and it's done. So next thing we're going to do, we are going to make a quick little dressing for our fennel salad. I have that other half of that lemon. I'm just going to juice that in here. Fresh juice, a half a lemon. Take about 2 tablespoons of olive oil. There's 1. And there's about 2. Use some fresh cracked pepper. Pinch of salt. It's a little bit of dried thyme. Let's go with like about a teaspoon. And this is just plain parsley for a little bit of color. About a teaspoon and a half with that. I'm just going to take our whisk and whisk that together really quickly. Makes a nice little vinaigrette when you do it like that. Very simple. Smells lovely. I'm going to scoot this off to the side and bring the cutting board back because now we're going to handle the fennel. Now I want to save some of these fronds up top just because they're going to be a nice little garnish for the rest of the salad. So we'll go ahead and kind of lop that off. I'll put them back over here and I'll pick through those. So from what I understand, I was kind of reading about this, is you only use the bulb. You obviously don't use the root. And so we'll slice that off. We are going to take our mandolin. And I would recommend having one of these. These are just awesomely useful. I've got mine on the thinnest setting I have. I've also got a slicer blade on it just because I don't want these to be thick rings. So I'm going to start out using my hand, and then as a safety precaution, and I recommend it because I've cut my hand on these and they hurt like a son of a bitch, always use the little pusher. It's kind of like a meat. When you go to the deli and you see them, they have that thing that presses the meat against it so they're not using their hand. It's basically what this is. It's hard to do when it's this big, so starting out we'll use our hand. And then we'll transfer this into the bowl and just toss it together. And that's it for the salad. Super easy. Okay, let me grab, toss this up a little bit. Oh, wow, this smells wonderful. Ooh, that's very nice. What I have here, about 2 tablespoons of grated Parmesan Reggiano, dash of garlic salt, and a little bit of sesame seeds in it. Not an Asian thing. Typically, if you buy Italian bread, it's a lot of times it'll have sesame seeds on there. It's a popular flavor, so I thought it'd go nice with the kind of the fresh, herbaceous notes of this salad. So I'm going to use about half of this to incorporate, toss it together, and then I'm going to use the other half as garnish on the plate. Okay, it's been about 20 minutes. I think that fish is ready to come out of the oven. We'll go ahead and plate this up. And there we have it. Finished tomato flounder cruda with shaved fennel salad. Leave the recipe in the comment section. Hope you guys try it. Let me know if you enjoy it. Let me know if there's anything you guys want to see me make, you know. Shoot some suggestions, shoot some requests. Thank you guys again for watching Chef Kingston. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe button, and I'll see you guys next week. Thanks.